The attack did not begin with fire. It began with silence. Bryson felt it first, the way the force tightened like a breath held too long. He straightened slowly from the field, one hand resting instinctively on his white saber. The children around him stopped laughing, sensing his sudden stillness. "Go," Bryson said calmly, "back to the village now." They didn't argue. Silver felt it too from the ridge. His spine stiffened, eyes lifting to the sky just as the clouds parted unnaturally, pulled apart by something descending fast and deliberate. A ship. Not a fleet. Not an army. One. The same angular silhouette cut through the clouds, engines screaming as it slowed above the village. Dust and debris whipped through the streets. Shutters slammed, bells rang. "He's back," Silver said, igniting his golden saber. Ethan was already moving, shouting orders. "Form up, shields forward, keep civilians behind cover." The villagers did not panic. They moved. Training showed. The ship hovered just long enough to choose its landing, then slammed into the ground outside the village walls with bone-shaking force. The ramp dropped. The blue-eyed Sith walked out. No haste. No fear. His eyes burned brighter than before, reflecting the village fires that had just been lit for defense. He raised one hand and the outer gate imploded, metal folding inward like paper. Silver leapt first. Golden light crashed into red-black energy as sabers met, the impact throwing sparks across the square. The Sith barely moved, parrying with one hand while the other sent a wave of force energy that hurled Silver through a wooden barricade. "Silver," Bryson shouted, igniting his saber mid-run. Bryson attacked with everything: speed, precision, control. White met red-black in a blur of motion. For a moment it almost worked. The Sith stepped back. Then smiled. He adapted. A kick to Bryson's chest sent him skidding across stone. Ethan intercepted, blade flashing, using tight defensive forms to keep the Sith from advancing further into the village. Villagers fought too, shields raised, traps triggered, blaster fire coordinated. They didn't win, but they slowed him. The Sith lifted both hands. The ground cracked. A shockwave tore through the square, throwing everyone off their feet. Silver forced himself upright, bleeding, breathing hard. "He's not here to conquer," he growled. "He's proving something." Bryson rose beside him, eyes burning with fury and resolve. "Then we prove him wrong." They attacked together. For a moment, just a moment, the Sith was pushed back. Then the sky changed. The Sith stopped fighting. He disengaged, stepping back, sabers lowering. "Enough," he said calmly. The ground shook as his ship powered up behind him. "You survive," he continued, blue eyes fixed on Bryson, "because I allow it. Grow stronger, prepare. I want this village at its best when I return." Ethan shouted, "Coward." The Sith smiled, "No, student." He turned, boarding his ship as blaster fire bounced uselessly off its shields. Engines flared. And then he was gone. Silence fell like ash. Fires crackled, people groaned, no one was dead. That was the worst part. Hours later, Bryson stood in the fields again, hands in the dirt, replanting what had been destroyed. Children helped silently, no longer laughing but steady. Silver sat on the ridge once more, wounded but unbroken, eyes fixed on the stars. Ethan walked among the villagers, correcting stances, calming voices, rebuilding confidence. Far away, deep in hidden systems, Palpatine's Order 66 protocols moved closer to execution, pieces sliding into place like a guillotine being raised. But here, Bryson pressed a seed into the soil. Life continued. And the galaxy was not done testing them yet. The village did not mourn. There were no mass graves to dig, no names carved into stone, no pyres burning through the night. That was how Bryson knew the blue-eyed Sith had truly wounded them. He had left them alive. By morning, the village was already changing. Bryson stood in the center square, white saber clipped to his belt, listening as people spoke: farmers, traders, former soldiers, force sensitives who had hidden for years. There was fear in their voices, but also something new. "Resolve. We can't pretend anymore," Bryson said quietly, but his voice carried. "That Sith will come back, not alone." Silver leaned against the remains of the shattered gate, golden saber resting across his shoulders. His injuries were wrapped, his stance steady. And he won't stop at intimidation next time. Ethan stepped forward, so we don't stay a village, we become something harder to break. No one argued. The first decision was simple: no banners. No Jedi flags. No rebel insignias. No symbols to rally enemies. Only walls. Bryson led the construction personally, reforging the Sith scrap they'd looted days earlier into reinforced plating. The irony wasn't lost on him, turning the bones of the dark side into shelter. Villagers worked in shifts. Older hands shaped metal, younger ones hauled stone. Ethan organized teams, drilling them in rotations that balanced work and defense. Silver oversaw perimeter traps, old hunter techniques mixed with force-assisted geometry. Nothing flashy, nothing obvious. If he wants in, Silver muttered, setting a buried charge, he bleeds for every step. Clankers zipped overhead, mapping the terrain, projecting defensive overlays into the air. Children watched wide-eyed. Bryson crouched beside one of them. "You don't need to fight," he said gently. The boy shook his head. "Not yet, but I want to know how." Bryson nodded once. "Then you'll learn carefully." 2. Ethan's hard lesson. Ethan changed his training. No longer just balance and breath. Now there were formations, shield lines, retreat drills, how to fall without breaking bones, how to drag wounded without panic. "This isn't about winning," Ethan told them, voice firm. "It's about surviving together." Someone asked the question everyone was thinking. What if the Jedi Order comes? Ethan hesitated. Bryson answered instead, "Then we talk first, and if they don't listen, we defend ourselves." No cheers, no anger. Just acceptance. Silver watched Bryson closely. The white saber at his side glowed faintly in the sun. "You're walking a line again," Silver said later. Bryson nodded. "I know, but this time I'm choosing it." High above the planet, the blue-eyed Sith observed the changes. The walls. The drills. The discipline. His lips curved slightly. "Good," he whispered, "they learn quickly." His ship drifted silently, sensors tuned to force resonance. He felt Bryson's presence sharpen, not darker, not lighter, but stronger, rooted. "War grows best where peace was loved," he said to no one. Then he turned away, setting a course toward deeper darkness, toward allies who still remembered how to burn worlds. That night, Bryson stood alone at the edge of the fields. The soil was scarred now, trenches where crops once grew, but seedlings still pushed through. Silver joined him, quiet. "You could leave," Silver said. "Take Ethan, take the kids, hide." Bryson shook his head. "Then this place becomes a lesson for the galaxy, one more burned home." Silver studied him. "You're not doing this out of anger." "No," Bryson said softly, "I'm doing it because this is mine." They stood in silence as torches burned along the new walls. The village was no longer just a home. It was a line drawn in the dirt. And somewhere far away, forces older and crueler than this world were moving. Jedi orders fracturing, Sith empires stirring, the galaxy tightening toward another breaking point. But here they prepared. Not for glory. Not for conquest. For survival. For each other. Silver felt it before he understood it. The blue-eyed Sith stood at the edge of the village again, not in flesh but as a pressure in the Force, a slow turning weight that pulled memories loose. Silver froze mid-step, breath hitching, vision blurring as the past clawed forward. "Tatooine. Fire." A woman's laugh cut short by blaster light. "No," Silver whispered. Bryson turned. "What is it?" Silver didn't answer. His golden saber trembled at his side, not with fear but recognition. The Sith did not hide this time. He descended openly, boots touching stone beyond the walls, hood lowered. His eyes were not the red of hunger or rage. They were blue. And they were his. The scar pattern across the Sith's face matched a man Silver had once known, a man he thought dead. But the Force sang a deeper truth, undeniable and cruel. "You're wrong," Silver said hoarsely. "I never." "You left," the Sith said calmly. His voice was steady, almost gentle. "And my mother died believing you would come back." The world narrowed. Silver staggered. Bryson stepped between them instantly, white saber igniting with a clean hiss. Ethan moved to Silver's side, steadying him. The Sith tilted his head, studying Bryson with interest. "So this is what you protect now, father." The word father struck harder than any blade. Silver's knees nearly gave out. "I didn't know," Silver said. "If I had known." "You would have stayed," the Sith interrupted, "or turned me into something like them." He glanced toward Ethan. "The Order." Ethan stiffened. "You don't know what we are." The Sith smiled sadly. "I know exactly what you are, what he was." Silver found his voice. "What is your name?" The Sith hesitated just a fraction. "Kale," he said. "Kale Voss." The name broke something open inside Silver's chest. "You're not Sith," Silver said desperately. "Not truly, I can feel it." Kale's blue eyes hardened. "I was raised in the ruins you left behind. I learned to survive." The dark side listened when no one else did. Bryson stepped forward. "You don't have to come back here like this." Kale looked at him surprised. "You're not afraid of me." "I know what it's like to be shaped by pain," Bryson said, "and still choose." For a moment, just a moment, the force softened. Then Kale ignited his saber. Red and black entwined, humming with restrained violence. "I didn't come to kill you," Kale said. "I came to see if you were worth sparing." He deactivated the blade and turned away. "This village survives because I allow it," he called over his shoulder. "But next time, father, don't stand between me and what I decide." His ship rose silently into the sky and vanished. Silver collapsed to his knees. Ethan knelt beside him. "You didn't know." "That doesn't matter," Silver said, voice breaking. "He exists because I failed." Bryson placed a hand on Silver's shoulder. "No, he exists because you loved once." The white saber at Bryson's side pulsed faintly, steady, resolved. Somewhere in the stars, Kale Voss watched the planet fade, emotions warring inside him, rage, grief, and something far more dangerous. Hope. And Silver finally understood. This war would not be decided by armies. It would be decided by family. It began without fire. Without warning. Without the sound of a blade igniting. Supreme Chancellor Palpatine stood alone in his office, Sidolite cutting sharp lines across his face. The war had hollowed the galaxy, now it would be finished. He placed his hands behind his back. "Execute Order 66. The words were soft, almost bored. Across the galaxy the command rippled outward, coded, unquestioned, absolute. Clone commanders froze for half a second. Then they turned. A Jedi general laughed as a clone trooper stumbled through the mud behind her. "Careful," she teased. "You'll." Blasterfire tore through her back. She fell without understanding why. Her Padawan screamed. The clones did not. Alarms began too late. Younglings looked up from their lessons as the doors exploded inward. Blue armor filled the halls where peace had once lived. Lightsabers ignited, but there were too many blasters, too many angles, too much betrayal. A master fell protecting the archives. Another died sealing a door so children could run. The force itself seemed to recoil. Ethan stopped mid-instruction. The villagers froze as he staggered, one hand clutching his chest. "Ethan," Bryson said. Silver felt it too. A scream that wasn't sound. A tearing like 1,000 voices cut short at once. "The Jedi," Ethan whispered, "they're dying." Silver's jaw tightened. Order 66. Bryson's white saber ignited without him realizing it had. The blade hummed, steady, furious, alive. The sky darkened as if the world itself understood. Kale Voss stood on the bridge of his ship when the shockwave hit him. He gasped, gripping the console. "What have you done?" he whispered, to the Sith, to the Jedi, to the galaxy itself. For the first time since embracing the dark, his blue eyes filled with horror. "This wasn't justice," he said, "this was slaughter." He turned the ship sharply, away from Sith space. Toward home. Back in the village, Silver looked at Bryson and Ethan. "This changes everything," he said. Ethan straightened, grief hardening into resolve. "Then we protect who we can." Bryson extinguished his saber and rested his hand on the soil of his farm. "They took the order," he said quietly. "They won't take this." Far away the Jedi burned. Here something else was being born. Not an order. Not a Sith empire. A refuge. And in the ashes of betrayal, the Force began to gather around those who refused to kneel. The temple burned, not with flame alone but with silence. Bodies lay where masters once debated peace, smoke curled through shattered pillars, blaster scars etched the stone like accusations. Darth Sidious walked through it all without haste. Behind him a shape emerged from the smoke. Black armor. Mechanical breath. A presence in the Force like a wound that refused to close. Sidious stopped. Lord Vader, he said, savoring the name, the Jedi are no more. Vader stood motionless, helmet tilted slightly, as if listening to ghosts only he could hear. They were traitors, Vader said at last. His voice was distorted, but the rage beneath it was raw and unfinished. Sidious smiled thinly. They betrayed the Republic just as they betrayed you. Vader's fists clenched. Somewhere far beyond Coruscant, 3 names flickered at the edge of his awareness. Bryson. Silver. Ethan. He did not know why. Surviving Jedi felt it. Not just the Purge. But him. A pressure, a hunter's focus, a darkness no longer scattered but unified. Masters who escaped Order 66 went to ground, or died moments later beneath crimson blades. Padawans hid their sabers in dirt, water, ash. The Age of Mercy was over. Sidious circled Vader slowly. There are still anomalies, he said, Force users who do not belong to us or to the Jedi. Vader turned his helmet slightly. Find them, Sidious continued, break them or bring them to me. Yes, my master, Vader said. But inside the armor something twisted. Not loyalty. Hunger. The wind shifted. Silver looked up sharply. Ethan stiffened, hand to his chest. Something new has entered the galaxy. Bryson felt it last. A distant gravity. A predator that did not rage wildly like the Sith of old, but endured. He's different, Bryson said quietly. Silver nodded. This one won't burn worlds to make a point. He'll erase them, Ethan finished. Clanker beeped anxiously, projecting fragmented Imperial transmissions, new insignias, new chains of command, a single name whispered through encrypted channels. Vader. In hyperspace, Kale Voss felt it too. He dropped to one knee on his ship's deck, breath ragged. That's not Sith, he whispered, that's a cage. For the first time, Kale feared what ruled the dark side now. And for the first time in years, he feared for his father. On Coruscant, Darth Vader ignited his lightsaber. The blade burned red, steady and absolute. Where do I begin, he asked. Sidious' smile widened. Everywhere. Not of balance. Not of rebellion. But of survival. And somewhere beyond Imperial charts, a small village, held together by family, failure and choice, stood directly in the path of the coming storm. They did not tell Ethan. That was the first mistake. Bryson stood at the edge of the landing field as Silver's ship powered up, the engines humming low and tense. The village slept behind them, fires dimmed, walls quiet, people trusting that dawn would come. It has to be us, Bryson said. His white saber hung at his side, newly reforged, its kyber calm but alert. If we don't stop him now, he'll find this place eventually. Silver looked older under the starlight, not weaker, never that, but heavier, like the galaxy had finally decided to rest its weight on his shoulders. Vader isn't like the others, Silver said. He won't break, he won't run. Neither will we, Bryson replied. Silver met his eyes and nodded once. Then they left. They found Vader on a dead world. Ash storms rolled across a shattered plain where cities had once stood. Imperial beacons burned in the distance, casting long red shadows through the dust. Vader waited. He did not turn when they landed. I wondered how long it would take, he said, his voice grinding through the wind, 2 ghosts pretending they're enough. Silver ignited his golden saber. Bryson's white blade followed, pure, bright, defiant. You won't touch our home, Bryson said. Vader turned. The Force crashed into them. Silver moved first, fast, precise, years of mastery flowing through every strike. Gold clashed against red, sparks screaming into the ash. Bryson flanked, his movements raw but fearless, white blade carving arcs of light meant to overwhelm. For a moment, just a moment, they pushed Vader back. Then Vader stopped playing. He caught Silver's blade with one hand, fingers smoking, and threw him across the battlefield with the force. Silver slammed into broken stone, armor cracking, breath gone. Too slow, Vader said. Bryson attacked in a fury, strike after strike, emotion bleeding into strength. Vader met him head-on, power against will. The red blade slid past Bryson's guard. Pain exploded through his side. Vader seized him by the throat and lifted him off the ground. You carry the Force like a scar, Vader said, studying him. Tell me who taught you to suffer so well. Bryson choked, vision darkening. Silver screamed Bryson's name and surged forward, unleashing everything he had left. Vader turned and ended it, a single blow that shattered Silver's saber hilt and sent him crashing to his knees. Vader dragged Bryson closer, the ground cracking beneath his boots. I should kill you, Vader said, but you're more useful broken. He released Bryson and struck him down with the Force. Bryson hit the ground hard, white saber skidding from his grasp. For a long second, neither of them moved. Then Vader turned away. Run, he said coldly, let the fear keep you alive. His ship rose into the ash and vanished. Silver crawled to Bryson, hands shaking as he pulled him close. Stay with me, Silver whispered, please. Bryson coughed, blood dark against the dust, but his eyes opened. He's real, Bryson rasped, now we know. Silver closed his eyes, grief and fury twisting together. They had challenged a legend. And survived. Barely. But as Silver helped Bryson to their ship, one truth burned brighter than pain or failure. Vader had felt them. And next time, he would come to finish it.